I'm depressed and sad and motionless for long hours because of what Seattle did to me. I have Parkinson's disease. But even though I can't write in the very beginning of scholarship in this area, I do have to record for posterity where this came to. If you look into the fact that I have no friends, nobody follows or subscribes to me, nobody replies to me, I don't get letters, I don't have conversations with people, it's not just because I'm deaf and disliked. It's because Yoko Ono put a bounty on my head in the name of Lenin's Houdini, and that has proven to be a very priceless form of fascist bribery over administration, peers, and students, over just about everything that could be considered a recourse for a person who is deaf to try and find help from. I'm going to go get the rest of my materials. I left them over on my desk. People look at the evidence and look at the truth, and they're offered self-respect. They can help me. They can stop abusing me. And they prefer not to have self-respect because they say, we can follow the money because Lenin's Houdini is certified. He was killed. Remember, Jimmy? Well, I'll show you something from the Archives of Police Gazette. See, this is a tip-off. These were the same agencies working these two publication phenomenon, same layout, same print, boldface type. So this was something that was in the works for a long time. When Oswald was in the police department, these two men came in. One of them is wearing something very akin to the Riddler's outfit. See, it's a riddle. And you can see just as the nuncio believed in reincarnation, it would be like starting over with the slogan that they chose. And the lookalikes of Gail Burslem. That one's from 1979 on one of John Lennon's Friends albums. One of them's from Seattle Center. And if you look at the Pitt News, you will see that Crowspag Reguster was stalking me. I'll show you. Notice the man named Yoko Yablonsky, which is like a famous, the Yablonsky case. It's down near the bottom. Well, he's now in a New York museum, and he came to Pitt News in the 80s to stalk me for the Crowspag Reguster. See? She's made a delicious profit. Now, we know that the Seattle Black Panthers were involved in Pittsburgh, and they set up the Two Virgins Pussy Ball game. And they case me, I got poison in the eye by Bob Ferguson's administration, who refuses to credit that I was tortured. These people are working with Roger Waters to eliminate me. But if you think John Lennon was a man of peace, think again. He was an Oswald Mosley follower from How I Won the War in this movie. And they have signifiers. A girl named Jill gave me a purple disc thing. I say the letters from Israel. Well, that's the nerve, it symbolizes the nerve agent that was given to me. And notice October 20th, my birthday, is in Diva, the signifier of a very special ethnic code. A diva is the name of the movie. And Nabucco's stupid code, it has a flashcard there in Seattle. Nabucco's stupid code of what boys should do and girls should do is in the letters from Israel. Nabucco was the star of children of Hiroshima. So Bob Ferguson is poisoning somebody to help Japan get revenge on the United States. That's what the city of Seattle, this was a lawsuit that justified the murder of JFK, shot him right between the eyes, zap. And she says, I say is, not was, because Lenin pulled a Houdini. I say is, not was. You see, it will be just like starting over. And the fascists in the genocide cordon who went after Gaza have Seattle and Pittsburgh to thank that happened. They used the C and a Star of David for their genocide pornography, which I have been warning people about for years. Look at that a long time. That's the Pussy Ball war game with a mesmer of Ringo Starr at the poolside. And I warned people in print in 1993 that this was revenge for Auschwitz at Carnegie Mellon University. So I'm not making this up. How did they pigeonhole me? First of all, came a believer in reincarnation who was a fascist in Fayum, and counterfeiting done where D.W. Griffith worked with Mussolini. It led to films like The Murderers Among Us after World War II from Goebbels Studios. And you can find information about the Nuncio and in books about the chronology of film. What they hail from is Ouspensky's crowd. Ouspensky, there's a chapter in this book about his theory of a Superman. Well, my father wrote about America's taking human rights in the 40s and humanizing the school in the 60s. That doesn't believe in Superman. It believes in. So what they did was they say, we will fold on your existence. Prove that you get anyone to cry for you because you could have saved John Lennon. It was a fraud. It was all traced back to counterfeiting down at Fayum. And it's a very lucrative bribery from the fascists. And Seattle is just drooling. We want that money. We want that money. And so they went along with it. They were the people who lifted the perpetrators into the highest office, who are foreclosing on the United States completely. That's what Seattle's left pulled. And they get away with it with this kind of stunt. They get away with it with a great hoax. They have no loyalty. They have no self-respect. They have no common decency. They have no common sense. Look what they did to Gaza. Look what they did to me. Look what they did to Jimmy Crary. I mean, the whole thing is a farce. And Seattle has gotten away with it for years and years and years. And they weren't content with just isolating me and ruining my life. They poisoned me. They poisoned the deaf man in the eye. They gave me Parkinson's disease. And they won't give me any help. They won't pay me for my work. They won't pay me for my injuries. I'm dealing with the criminally insane, and that should be obvious from Gaza. But what does Seattle call it? Building momentum for the perpetrators. They brag about building momentum leading to things like Gaza. It is a serious, disturbing congregation operating out of sound mental health. Seattle Art Museum, UW Dialectical, and some fringe elements of Tacoma. This location here was supernova in the cosmonaut. Remember the Lebanon flash pod? These people are nuts. They did it as a two versus Pussy Ball game. They have these feminists from Islam bemoaning the colonialism, but they're siding with Yoko Ono and two versus Pussy Ball, because it's all sacred hymns to the Virgin with Muslims. You know, I'm just a Pittsburgh Yinzer kid who grew up under a father who drove a school bus. I don't need this nightmare.